She's your queen to be.
She walked in with a plan and a vision board.
So, the group chat. I'll just start from the beginning. The second that notification came in, I told them, first things first, we needed a budget. I'd already assigned line items before most of them even opened the thread. If you hadn't responded yet, you got assigned something anyway. That's efficiency, not overreach. I said, no, we weren't doing that. That's not equity. That's how resentment gets built, one Venmo request at a time. I told them, per income bracket makes more sense. Structurally, that's the ABBA women's riot, collective economic leverage applied at scale. I told them to educate themselves. Then it was venue. I'd narrowed it to 3 options based on square footage, parking, and noise ordinance risk. Option A had better lighting for photos. Option B was cheaper, but the parking situation was, frankly, a liability. Option C had a noise curfew of 10 p.m., which, no, absolutely not. I told them fine isn't a metric. I needed a number. On a scale of 1 to 10, how fine? Because fine has cost me 2 apartments and a business partner. Then I asked, when you say we, do you mean everyone or you specifically? Because those require different levels of commitment. So I asked again, who exactly is we in that sentence? I wanted to make sure I was allocating correctly. I asked one more time for my own clarity. Is we the 6 people in the chat, or does that include the plus ones nobody confirmed? 20 minutes of nothing. So I decided silence was consensus. I had a karaoke thing that night, so I needed it locked by 9. Anyway, caterer. I'd reached out to 4. 2 responded. 1 tried to upsell me on a charcuterie board the size of a door. Respect the hustle, but no. I told the caterer, 40 portions, nut-free, and I needed a firm price by tomorrow. Not a range, a number. I just said, a number, please. Then the final ask, Venmo confirmations by end of day, or I was reallocating the line item to someone who responds to their phone like a functioning adult. A thumbs up is not a confirmation. A thumbs up is a placeholder for effort. I stand by that. Then I called about chairs. 40 white, no rips, delivered by 2. I already knew the rate. I'd looked it up. I just needed them to confirm it hadn't changed. Someone asked about a +1. I asked, is this a romantic +1 or a my friend is visiting and I feel bad +1? Those get different meal counts. I also want to say, with love, that we'll figure it out when we get there is not a plan. It's a hope. I don't build on hope. Hope doesn't have a line item. Anyway, I told them it'd be great. I just needed everyone to let me make it great correctly. I'm not. It wasn't about being the boss.
She turned a birthday into a fiscal quarter, called it kindness, and meant it.
Okay, so the chat. I told them I had vibes covered. I said, did you know surprise parties statistically raise cortisol levels by 23%? Not that that's bad. Stress can be a bonding experience, actually. Then I said, separately, the Obi in traditional Igbo architecture is the central meeting space of the compound, structurally built for communal gathering. Anyway, vibes. I had it. I told them I'd bring speakers. I said I had it handled. I remember thinking, that's not like her. Anyway, 92% of parties exceed their planned budget. Just a stat. I figured out the speakers eventually. That was also the night I said, "Did you know sequins were originally used as currency in ancient Egypt?" Unrelated. I wore them anyway. I was actually at the gym when I solved it. I told him, "You have speakers, I have a party. This is basically networking." I remember saying, "Sorry, unrelated. 73% of people feel anxious at parties." I told him I'd be the 8% that night. Or the 92. I don't fully remember which stat was the good one.
She walked in with a plan and a vision board.
I'd made a list too. Cortisol fact, good opener, use early. Shrimp fact, never use, nobody's ever wanted to hear it. Igbo architecture fact, say for someone who looks bored, it doubles as a rescue.
And then some more. 3 different women walking through one door. Can't decide.
I asked her. So I have the speakers, I have 3 facts on standby, I have a top, I think I'm ready. Do I sound ready? I remember saying, "Okay, good," because statistically, first impressions form in under 1/10 of a second, so I really can't afford to, and then catching myself. I was doing the fact thing again. I just wanted it to be good for her. That's it. That was the whole thing. Anyway, I'd say 94% chance it was going to be great. I made that statistic up on the spot, but it felt true. I practiced my entrance too. Hey, I brought sound. To try hard. Hey, I brought sound. Worse. Which, that's not a strategy. That's just a phrase people say.
She solved the entire logistics problem by accident, apologized for it twice, and still doesn't know she's the reliable one.
I saw the message and I just said, "Yes, absolutely, I'm in." Someone asked if that was too much. I said yes. Also, I'll bring a cake. Also, I know a guy with string lights. Also, I'm free the whole day. I told them, "No, it's nothing. I love this. This is what I'm for." So then I'm standing in this empty venue, 3 hours early, holding string lights, and I remember thinking, okay. Somebody has to hang these. I don't hate this. I didn't read the chat. I just showed up. Somebody had to hang the lights. New tradition, I decided. Chocolate now. Nobody was going to remember it was supposed to be vanilla by the time the night was over. And then it was time. I was like, "Everybody hide, hide, hide. Wait, actually, follow me. I have a whole plan." I didn't have a plan. I just said, "Follow me." I'm really glad I was there for that. Anyway, who wanted cake?
She walked in with a plan and a vision.
Oh, earlier that day, actually, before any of that, I was fighting a banner. I remember saying, "Work with me here. I have never once asked you for anything, and today I am asking you for one straight line." I told it, "You know what? This is intentional now. This is a choice. Nobody needs to know it wasn't." I said, "Yes, hi, yes, that's me. Yes, I ordered vanilla, right?" I definitely said vanilla. I just said, "Perfect, great, love that, see you at 4. I remember thinking, this is going to be really good. Okay, focus, I told myself. Lights, then flowers, then figure out the banner situation.
One of hers, quiet, got a fact for every room.
I was on the phone with the lights guy when Ada texted asking for a head count. I typed back, 40? 50? I said yes to everyone who asked, so however many that is.
While she's running the whole place.
I remember telling the tables, "You're fine. You're all fine. Nobody's going to notice a scuff mark when there's cake."
She said yes to 4 jobs, did all 4, and still thinks she barely helps.
I walked up and just said, "You owe $42 for the balloon arch. I'll send the breakdown."
I started to say, actually, studies show splitting costs in the moment reduces group cohesion by...
As I was saying, $42.
I just grabbed them and said, "Nobody cares about the balloon arch. I love this song. Everybody up."
She's all of that. And then some more.
I told her later, you didn't have to do all the spreadsheet stuff, you know. People would have shown up anyway.
I know. I wanted it to be right, not just fine.
I told her, for what it's worth, it's right.
I asked if she'd actually gotten those speakers for free, or if I needed to add a line item.
I told her, free. Emotionally, I owe him a conversation about his cardio routine for the next 6 months, but financially, free.
I remember telling everyone at the dessert table. So it was supposed to be vanilla, but honestly, chocolate has main character energy. Vanilla was never going to hit like this. I just said, honestly, we've been friends forever. Feels like forever. That's the same thing, right?
She's all of that, and then some more. 3 different women walking through one door. Can't decide which one is really her, but honey, all of them, all of that.
Back in the present, each of them on the I'm fine button. Adaz is about the budget going over by $200 she will never mention again. Josephine's is about the borrowed speakers cutting out halfway through the toast. Easy and Oz is about crying in front of 40 people she'd met 3 hours earlier.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I say,
I say,
I
you don't have to do that.
I know. I want to.
You know I heard the karaoke thing, right? Earlier on the phone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure. Statistically, most people who deny something that specifically are lying about it, 70% of the...
Get in the car, Josephine.
Wait. Before we go, say something for the camera. Anything. This is the last clip.
We came in under budget by $4. I consider that a personal triumph.
I made a friend at the gym, and now I have a party emergency contact for speakers. Growth.
I didn't read one message all week, and it was still the best night I've had in months. Make of that what you will. Okay, bye. Love you. Bye.
She walked in with a plan and a vision board. Told herself she's going with the flow. Got a spreadsheet for her spontaneity and a 5-year goal for letting go. She's all of that and then some more. 3 different women walking through one door. Can't decide which one is really her, but honey, all of them, all of that. All of that. One of her is quiet, got a fact for every room. Dressed in every color, so you know she's coming through. One of her is gray, but lights up every space. Where she's boring while she's running the whole place. She's the light, she's the drive, she's the awkward in the corner. She's the queen, she's the dream. She's one woman, but she's more than all of that. All of that. All of that. parties, all of that, and then some more. 3 different women walking through one your whore. Can't decide which one is really her, but honey, all of them